Welcome, Dr. James Beckett, Sports Card Insights. I've got another episode. I've got some boxes from Upper Deck. I listen to other podcasts. Obviously, there's some great podcasts out there. I really enjoy Wax Pack Hero from Mike Summer. He got a couple of boxes from Upper Deck Hockey. I got a couple boxes from Upper Deck Hockey. So he did a compare and contrast audio version, and I think I've got my style. He's got his style. But today, I'm going to compare the Upper Deck Premier with the Upper Deck SP Authentic, both from 2020-21, which is really a misnomer. The Premier came out end of March this year. That's 22, so not during the normal distribution year. And then the SP Authentic did not come out until a little over a month ago, end of June. That just would wreak havoc with us when we were doing the price guides, because the rookie crop, the rookie class, it ought to be based on the year of delivery of distribution, but it's more accepted that it's based on the nominal year that's on the card. And it's hard, 10 years later, it's hard to know that these SP Authentic rookies really came out at least a year after you would have expected them to come. Again, problematic, but I am now semi-retired. Not my problem, but I can see that it's a problem in the industry until we get the logistics worked out to where we can get these card products coming out in the reasonable time frame and with a good flow. It's going to be good for everybody. I think the card companies want that. Collectors want that. Dealers want that. There'd be a predictable stream. And so enough said about that. Thanks sponsors, especially Upper Deck, obviously, but also Panini and Topps. I occasionally get stuff from them too. Much appreciated. Love to open product and describe it with the audio, visual, only audio. Also, Heritage Auctions, Huggins & Scott Auctions, Mike Stadium Sports Cards, Burbank Sports Cards, ComC.com, and Beckett Media, Beckett Grading, Beckett Authentication. So both these are standard size cards. I always try to figure out which would I rather have, and they're not exactly the same price. They're both premium products. Obviously, the Premier is more premium. I think the street value is $400 or something. I just go to David Adams and just look and see what the secondary market, what they're selling it for. So not trying to say that's what it is in every card shop, but that's what it is for David Adams. So $300 for the SP Authentic and $400 for the Upper Deck Premier. Big difference in the products, though. 18 packs of 5 as opposed to 1 pack of 6. When you're thinking about what kind of cards you like, some people like to, you got a shot at buying a couple boxes and completing the set with SP Authentic or getting very close. Premier, no chance. You're going to have to buy a lot of boxes. I now have to say, I'm not a set collector anymore. I certainly was growing up. I certainly was in my 20s. I guess I probably was in my 30s, but yeah, actually half of my 30s, I was doing price guides, so I wasn't really collecting. But late 20s, early 30s, I love completing sets and tough sets too. So that was a lot of fun. I'm not going to complete them. I'm not going to buy them. I'm strictly a player collector, and I love organizing my cards kind of in alphabetical order where I can find and the players that I like. So I'm trying to sell my sets. I talked to Rob Veras. I didn't mention this in the other podcast, but Rob does not want to buy my sets. He only wants to buy sets of things that he needs, and he doesn't need anything. He's got 42 million cards. But I'll find somebody on eBay or somewhere where I can sell some of these sets I have and find a new home for them. I just think the SP Authentic, I wanted to prefer it. It's $100 less. I think the design is excellent. It's a very strong historical brand. People have talked to me about the Beckett logo and that refresh. More than a refresh, it's a big change for some people. SP Authentic has stayed pretty true to their logo. If they have changed it, it's been too subtle for me to notice, but it's been a consistent, strong product across sports and all that. So I really like the design a lot. A lot of white on the card is cool. I love the red limited ones. I would expect to see some of them in the dollar boxes. Not sure. The lesser players I would pay $1 for, but the better players I might. I only got 2 serial numbered cards in the whole box. As I go through the dollar boxes, I'm realizing that the serial numbers are one indicator, but it's not even the main indicator sometimes of scarcity. And so if they don't put, you just need to know the colors and the designs and the inserts that are tougher. And that requires some homework. And with SP Authentic, I got a variety of, I'm sure I got what I was promised, but it's hard to know when you only have 2 serial number cards in the whole box. So I guess I'm a convert now, begrudgingly, to having less cards. And I regret saying that because I love completing sets. These small boxes that you get where it's obvious it's not designed for a complete set collector. These small boxes, a lot of that is what gets stolen. They fit in your pocket. The bigger boxes with more packs, more cards, they're catering to a certain, but these smaller boxes, great things come in small packages. So I have to tell you, I preferred the Premier. I opened it up. They're thicker cards. I don't like the design quite as much. I got 6 different cards there, all different. And the worst one of them was, I think, a numbered to 299, and that wasn't anything special, but it was thicker. I got a unnumbered game used of a guy that's not known to me. But then I got 2 autographs and then 2 lower numbered cards. I wasn't displeased. If you forced me to buy another box of something, I would have gotten another box of the Premier. What do I do when I get a box of SP Authentic and it's got 90 cards there, of which 60 of them I don't think I really am going to collect? Let's say 60. Let's say 30 cards I would keep and put in my alphabetized boxes. How do I know the 60? I flip over on the back. Number one, I front sort and I look, do I recognize the name? Obviously, it's Connor McDavid or somebody, Nathan McKinnon. I'm going to recognize some of the guys and I'm going to set them aside. But if I don't recognize them, I'm going to flip it on the back and I'm going to see if they're on the third line, not scoring, been in the league for a while. They're not a rookie, but maybe they're a defenseman that doesn't score. Again, there are very few defensemen that are going to be big bucks. So I'll go through that. Goalies, you've got to be careful with goalies because sometimes they can be dormant and then they get their shot and it's amazing. Like I said, in the Premier set box, every card was thicker. And so then I've noticed that my time with Tim Getch at the National was talking about they have an upcharge for cards that are extra thick. And their cutoff is 130 point, which is 1/10 of an inch, which is really hard to perceive. And they have a schematic where you can look at it. And all of the, let's see, I think actually one of the SP Authentics was more than 130 point, and one of the Premiers was more than 130 point. Well, that means with ComC, if anybody sends that stuff into ComC, they're going to get, I don't know if it's 50 cents, but there's a thickness upcharge. Also, they don't fit in the regular penny sleeves, I don't think. You've got to have the fat penny sleeves. And so I guess I don't like the thicker cards. If it's above 130, it seemed like you ought to be able to, and I have lots of 130 and less point cards that are game used. So that's my preference. Okay. So I got some jersey cards there, and I am not, if you ask me, do I prefer jersey cards, game used, memorabilia included, or autographs? I prefer autograph over a game used, and not just because of the thickness. One of the Superior Sports Investments, I think, that's at the local shows here and does a lot of eBay business. They have a huge display at the Dallas shows where they have $5 for their whole several tables is all autographs and game used. And it's by sport and and it's all sleeved and you can just go through and pick out what you want. If you buy 10, you get them for $3. If you buy 20, you get them for $2.50, something like that. It's not bad. So I looked through that. I have a lot of fun looking through there. It's up from the dollar box, but you can't expect to get a lot of autographs and game used in the dollar boxes. So I want to be well versed in the whole hobby. So I'll look in there. There was a booth at the National that had a $3. Everything at their booth was $3 and they had boxes. And it was, again, a lot of, I think it was mainly jerseys and autographs. I went up the second day and said, hey, that looks interesting. You got a lot of stuff there. And I said, would there be any quantity discounts? Without even batting an eye, he said no. And I thought, well, that's Thursday. Maybe it seemed like he could have said not today or not until Sunday afternoon or something. And I thought, well, that's a turn off. So I went away and then I went to a dollar box the next day and a guy was sitting next to me and a little bit of conversation back and forth. And he said, can you believe that guy that had the $3 table? I said, what do you mean? I said, I went over there and he said he didn't do any discounts. He said, I picked out 20 cards and offered him $50 or something like that. And now this is Saturday afternoon. He said $3. So no discount. That's certainly a way you can run your business. It's just was surprising to me. Now Sunday, I didn't go back there to see if he was carding off, and he did a lot of business. So I don't begrudge that. So at any rate, if the thickness, the game used, what I got with Premier, every one of those cards is potentially a candidate for my wall if it's a good player. And so that's my primary thing. At SPL, not so much. I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with these 60 other cards. And I'm probably going to give them to Rich, give them for his synagogue show. They're not bad cards at all. They're just not the players I collect. And even if they're Dallas Stars, I used to have season tickets to the Stars. So I'll hold on to the stars and make a little pile of those for when people come over. So had a lot of fun opening these boxes. Again, it should have been opened a year ago. They should have been released a year ago. I feel really bad for everybody in the industry. I think we maybe have another 6 months of this catch up, and hopefully by spring of 2023, Fanatics is going to hit their stride, Upper Deck, Panini, everybody is going to be a little bit more back to normal in terms of release dates, staying true to what they would be. So thank you, Upper Deck. Thanks, listeners. And Upper Deck's the only game in town pretty much for your hockey, and I love hockey. Just my problem is I love all the sports and I kind of love all the cards. But these were a couple good things. Again, like I said, I'm a bigger fan of Premier for me, but I like the SP Authentic as well. Thanks, everybody. I'll be back again tomorrow with another episode, and thank you, Upper Deck, for providing some enjoyment for me.